We are watching the very first of the round of 64 between Chompy and Complex, a good Zerg and Protoss game. I am Harlequin, your commentator for now. We have a special guest commentator, Diggity, who will be on here later for the semifinals and the finals. And you are watching the scReddit Open number 6. Again, this is the very first game of the round of 64 between Chompy and Complex. Now, of course, my money is on Chompy because I've seen him many times before, and he's never failed to place into the top 3 in the last, four rounds, or 4 scReddit Open. So I'm looking forward to that, but we'll see what's going on. I'm definitely not going to count out Complex, and we'll see how these guys are going. So let's take a look at what we got here. We've got Complex as the light blue Protoss in the upper right-hand corner, and Chompy as the Zerg, pink Zerg, in the lower left-hand corner. So this is an interesting map. I'm sure those of you who are regular StarCraft replay viewers will let me bring up the production tab here just so we can all keep track of what's going on. Are familiar with this map in that it's a fun map. It's got a lot of different vectors of attack. You've got a lot of different pathings. You've got a lot of expansions that are available to you, but they all sort of have a downside. This expansion is kind of far from your main, and it's got a back door and a couple of front doors and a side door. This expansion you have to get the rocks out of the way for. The gold expansion you have to get the rocks out of the way for. This expansion is very far away and hard to defend. So a lot of expansions available, but they all sort of have a distinct disadvantage. So I'd be interested to see how he takes advantage of that, really. Because for Zerg players, at least, Zerg players usually want to get a fast expansion up, and especially if you're dealing with a lot of harass, this kind of walking distance between your main is a little hard to cover with creep and that sort of stuff. But it can go anyway, so we'll see what's going on here. We've got a pylon up from Complex. We got an initial scout going out here from Chompy. We got the center overlord. This little center region is a great place for an overlord. It's just out of range of most units, and it gives you a pretty good idea what's going on. So Complex is getting a 12 gate, it looks like. Boom, there it goes. Looking Chompy is at 15 already, so he should be getting a gas sometime, unless he's going for a fast expo, and he very well might be. We'll see what's going on here. And it looks like Chompy is setting himself up for a 15 hatch, so this is ambitious on his part. I guess he's thinking it's round 1, he'll see what's going on. So hopefully this doesn't end up biting him, because we definitely have a 12 gateway up here, but we got 12 gateway going into gas, so we're not exactly going to see a double gateway kind of all-in zealot push or anything like that at this point, so he's probably okay. So now the next question is he going to get the gas first? He's going to get the pool. Looks like he's setting himself up for a pool. There it goes. So this is actually a standard, very standard early beta. We saw this build all the time, which was not a lot of emphasis on getting speed ASAP for the Zerglings, more just a matter of getting the expo up and then getting the spawning pool out both as fast as you can, so you don't have as much of a disadvantage of having got that expo. If it succeeds, it's always a dominant late game position just because of the early. Oh, look at that, stealing the gas. He has correctly identified that this is a stalker build. By stealing that second gas, he's definitely going to slow down his gas, because we're going to have to wait for the zealot to chop through all that. One of my favorite things as a Zerg player is to let this thing get 90% completed, cancel it, run right back and build it again. A lot of things, like a couple of Marines will have a lot of trouble killing that, but we'll see. He looks like he's just going to lead him on the chase here. Expansion's almost up. Still no gas. Okay, Chompy's just getting his own gas up now. So that's the big disadvantage. And look at that. This is what I was talking about earlier. When I was talking about when you look at the mathematics of a normal Maynard exchange, you really want 50% of your workers. You want a big chunk of them to go out there and mine. And I see a lot of times in games nowadays, people kind of think, oh, anything that I send to my expansion is vulnerable, it's weak, it'll get killed, so I just want to send 2 or 3, just enough to get it started. But we see a big, confident play by Chompy here, just going, boom, not even going to hesitate, all my workers are going over there, we'll defend that with Zerglings. And Queen is out here, just a couple of Zerglings, so he's really keeping an eye on this. So as soon as this first stalker comes out, he's going to have to get that overlord out of the way. But you can tell, he's got his opponent really well contained. His opponent, by his stature, is afraid of a Zergling rush, basically. You can tell he's got his ramp blocked off, he's got a single gateway, and now goes wave 2 and 3 are coming up right as I say that. He's got his double gas up here for Complex, and so I like where Chompy's at. I love macro Zerg. That's my absolute favorite thing to watch, so we'll see how this goes. So Chompy already, he's got his second queen up, got a lot of mining going, he's got 2 gas going already. I'd like to see him connect this gap, because that's a real big liability, but not so much against Protoss. Protoss is not the kind of race that comes flying in and does a lot of damage and flies back out. That's a Terran and Zerg thing, so, not too worried about that, but would like to see a Spine Crawler if he's not planning on getting 1,000,000 Zerglings at any point. Because if we look at the units right now, he's got 2 Zerglings and 2 Queens. So, really, this is Idra-style play here, and I'm thrilled to be seeing this kind of play, because I love it. It's really sophisticated. You can tell he's just really taking advantage of Complex's defensive stature here. So really looking forward to this game here. This is exactly what I want to be seeing. And so I'm happy to be commenting this. We've got Warp Gate Tech up. We got 4 gates up. So this could be setting himself up for a good solid 4-gate push right about now. So hopefully, and boom, we see the 18 Zerglings are already out there. And Zergling speed is almost done. So pretty much we've caught back up to the disadvantage of not having speed, not having Zerglings, and he's got an expansion up. So we'll see how well he can do against this tentative 4-gate push here, because this is going to be becoming an issue real soon here. We'll see how hard Complex pushes it. He might just be coming out here to grab an expansion. He might be playing really passively. We see him with the probe out here. I'm not sure how intentional that is. It looks like he might just be there to soak up some damage, or maybe just an accidental control group. Who knows? Meanwhile, Chompy, big on the Zerglings. So let's take a look at the unit count here. Oh, and a massive ball of Banelings comes up out of nowhere. I missed that Baneling next going down there. Still at tier 1. Nothing else going on at the moment. Moving the Overlords out. And we've got the medium-sized army from Protoss coming in here with a forward pylon. So this will be the test right here. I think Chompy's got this in the bag, though. He's got more than enough to take care of it. He's got the Banelings for the Zealots, and he's got the Lings for the Stalkers. Lings are just phenomenal against Stalkers. So we'll see if he can see this going on. Already we're seeing that this kind of bifurcated initial approach here is just kind of tricky, because you can walk past each other by accident. Boom, there go the Lings. Lings on top of everything. Oh, unfortunately the Banelings all go off on the Stalkers first, but that's okay. Boom, there we go. So he moved just slightly north and let the rest of the Banelings hit the Zealots. Now these Zealots, this is a lot of Zealots for that many Zerglings. I hope he pulls back pretty soon. But okay, I'm too timid apparently. Apparently he's got the numbers and the reinforcements. Boom, absolutely easy done. I regret ever having even doubted him for a moment. So Chompy does not disappoint. Complex, however, is in a difficult, complex position, you might say. He needs to reinforce himself right now, but he's really at a severe economic disadvantage. At the very least, he needs to be on the ball with this sentry here, because a wave of death is coming his way right now. Here comes a couple of reinforcements. The Banelings are coming back up. Sentry is sitting out here waiting. Banelings moving on the way. I always try, when I morph Banelings, I always intentionally grab this group just so this kind of stuff doesn't happen, so I don't get morphing Banelings along the way, because then they take forever to get up there. I'd rather morph the ones that are already there than have these guys waddle their way up. But that's okay. Oh, unnecessary aggression on his part. That was just a bad analysis of what the situation was. Really, Complex shouldn't have been even thinking about pushing out at that point. The Banelings are just going to make a mess of these Zealots. Clearly, that's not even a good shield, so I feel bad for him. It's tough getting those perfect shields, and there's the good game by Complex. So Chompy, as we had predicted, will be moving on to the round of 32.